We are redefining what's even possible in the landscape of marketing and sales funnels. And additionally, I'm going to be talking about what's on the horizon for Design Secrets coming up in this week's episode. Stay tuned.
You're listening to the Design Secrets Podcast, the most creative place on the internet, with your host, Tim.
Woo! What's up, everybody? Okay, welcome back to another episode. This is actually the second episode of the Design Secrets Podcast. And to be frank, like I have these scripts or these bullet points kind of listed out about the topics of the episodes to come and like what I want to talk about in as far as like design theory, like practices, principles, laws, all that kind of stuff. And I want to get into that eventually, but I wanted the first couple of episodes to really be about what's on the horizon, like how I got started, what's on the horizon for designsecrets.com, what is Desable, like something that I've been talking about. If you've been following me on social media, you'll see that I've kind of sprinkled my like Facebook profile with and kind of been alluding to this software that's going to really change the game, as I've been saying it. It's going to change what's even possible. It's going to redefine what's possible in our marketing sales funnels, like landing pages, our sales pages, our opt-in pages, squeeze funnels, all that kind of stuff from a design perspective. But I don't want you to think that it's pure vanity, right? Because the one thing that I'm obsessed with is conversion-driven design, how design affects the conversion or the bottom line of your funnels. So I kind of alluded to this as well in episode 1, which is the psychology of design, right? How design and design psychology plays a role in these sales cycles. So like if somebody's landing on your page for the first time, what are they seeing? What are they experiencing? What kind of brand are they culminating in their mind when they land on your landing page? And it's all those things that really make up the essence of your brand, first and foremost. And it really helps consolidate in the viewer's mind. Should I be here? Is this right for me? Is this the right place? Do I like the tone? All those kinds of things. And I'll get into some examples here in a second too. But I really want to backtrack and go back to something that I mentioned in the first episode, which was something that I had alluded to, kind of the foundations or like the beginning part, kind of the inception of designsecrets.com. And I talked about a buddy of mine when I used to work with Hunter Thompson at raisingcapital.com. His name is Adam Carswell, and he put me on to this coach, Catherine Jones-Lish. And dude, when I say that when I landed on Catherine Jones's like her sales page, it was called Design Hacking at the time, right? I think I don't know if like Russell acquired Design Hacking and like everything that entails, or if he just acquired like her as a person and brought her into what he's doing. I'm not sure. I know she does own the trademark and all that kind of stuff, so it's like legally tied to her. And one of these days, if I haven't already, I'm going to go and ask Catherine if she's willing to come and guest appear on the show, and if we can get some insight from her, and as well as I would love this. I'm just going to say this right now, put it out there, that I would love her to forward the book Design Secrets that's coming out hopefully in the fall of 2025 this year. So, but Adam Carswell put me on to this landing page, right? I remember he sent me a text and he said, "Dude, you got to check this out." And I opened it up and I saw Catherine all bubbly and talking 100 miles an hour as she typically does, and I remember just thinking like, oh my goodness, like what she's teaching is something that it's always been in my face. And that's kind of the funny thing about everything that I've ever discovered that was like worth pursuing has always been blatantly in my face, like the entire time for years. I'll even talk about something Desable in a second, how long that idea has kind of been in just kind of staring at me in the face that I never really noticed at the time. But when I saw what she was doing, I was like, oh my gosh, like this is definitely something that I can do, right? If I backtrack a little bit more, leading up to designsecrets.com, I had several failed attempts. And this kind of like, I just want to say this for anybody out there who might be in the same boat. Maybe you're a graphic designer, maybe you're a funnel builder, maybe you're a web developer trying to learn funnels or whatever the case is. And you've come up with business ideas or agency models or whatever the case is, services, products as a service, and maybe they're just not landing. Stick with it, my friend. Stick with it and just keep going. Like, keep crumbling up that next piece of paper, throwing it to the bin, and just keep throwing your ideas out there in the marketplace, because I promise you one day one of these is going to stick. And keep an open mindset, first of all, and just be vigilant. I can't even say the word. Be vigilant about what's staring at you blankly in the face. The market's always going to tell you what it needs, right? And to be frank, I didn't understand, I guess I never really saw how badly the market needed this. Like, I understood it from my own perspective, right? I understood design psychology. I understood like design theory, and I understood like subliminal messaging and color theory and all these things that tie into like the sales process, or like the psychological sales process, I guess. Right. I mean, if you, not that I've ever been, but if you go to like, if you go to Times Square and you're looking at Times Square and you just walk past or whatever, and you leave Times Square and you come out of Times Square and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I want to eat here, I want to go there, or for some reason I have this song stuck in my head. That's all subliminal messaging that's just been like, just methodically put in front of you. And then, you know what I mean? Like, you just take it in, because your mind is constantly distorting and distilling information, right? But it still sits there. Like, it sits there in the back of your mind, whether you know it or not, whether you're conscious of it or not. And it's only when we become aware of it, like we start to focus on it, that we're like, oh, I have this idea, when it's not even really an idea. It's something that's always been there. Well, that's kind of the concept of like design secrets. And so I knew about all that. I knew about all of that, like back in 2013 ish. It was like when I really started deep diving all of like design psychology. And I knew that I knew what I knew. I didn't know, or I never even thought of, I should say, to teach that to other people, right? And as Design Secrets has gone on, like we acquired and we started Design Secrets back in 2023, and now we're in 2025. We've had some trainings, we've had some course releases, some boot camps, all that kind of stuff, but and we've done for you stuff, obviously, but the evolution of it just continues upward. And what I mean by that is I'm still unfolding and unveiling things that I'm like, oh my gosh, like I've always known about this, but the market doesn't know about it. And it's like that. It's like I never thought to teach people these things that I know, like these principles, these frameworks, these things. And I'm like, I don't know why I didn't think about that. And when I saw Catherine Jones, when Adam put me on to Catherine Jones, I was like, oh my gosh, dude, like she's teaching something, and she taught it. Not that I didn't purchase her course or anything. I don't even know if it's still available. I would love to purchase it. But she taught it in a way that was like, it just distilled everything down. Like, she kind of took all like the big buzzwords out, like, you know, UI, UX. She took all that stuff out, like wireframing. I don't know if she uses that in her course, but she definitely didn't use it in the pitching her course. And she like really distilled it down to like this very simple rinse and repeat framework that was like, okay, you do it this way and you'll get these results. And you do it again. You do it this way and you get these results. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I don't know why I never thought to teach people this. More context to leading up to Design Secrets. I had an agency model where we were doing like paid ads. We were running ads for people. That was cool. It was actually very successful. Before that, I had a creative agency where I was doing, you know, logos and stuff like that. I think I alluded to this, or I might have even like gone into detail in episode 1. But it all backtracked to, you know, when I was first doing logos and stuff like that, learning everything that I know. And then years go by, I translate that skill set into online, right? Because, you know, I talked about how I was kind of struggling at the time, and it was like, dude, $300 packages for like logos and print collateral and stuff like that. It's like, it's not going to cut it. And that evolved to like, okay, me calling business owners, cold calling, by the way. This is back in like 2017, 2018, I think. And I'm cold calling these business owners, and I'm like, dude, what is it going to take for me to get your business? Like, how can I earn your business? And they said, Tim, if you can get me more customers, get me more clients in my door, I would be happy. Like, I would be glad to give you my business. And I said, okay, well, what does that look like? How does that look? Started doing some research, and I said, okay, what do I know? I know graphic design. I know, like, I kind of knew like the foot marketing aspect of sales, right? Or advertising, I guess I should say, where it's like, I can give you print collateral. I can give you brochures. I can give you and stuff that looks really good. Like, I can give you, booklets, pamphlets, and all that kind of stuff. And you can go out and you can use that as your marketing material or advertising, or sales. And I knew that much. And then I said, okay, well, how can we just translate that? How can I translate that to like getting somebody some business online? I thought of online because it was remote, right? Like, I don't have to actually go and physically be with them in their offices and stuff. So a website was like the first thing that came to my mind. And that translated to social media marketing. So I was doing the website thing, and then people were like, yeah, websites are cool. I don't need just a flashy website. I need traffic. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, if I can get traffic to your website, then we got a deal. And I delved down the rabbit hole of social media marketing, found a couple of like courses and stuff like that. And there was just one thing that changed my life, like really changed my life. And it really helped me scale that business model, that social media business model, very fast and very efficiently, which was, I forgot who talked about it, but they were talking about arbitrage. And I was like, arbitrage, like, what is that? Like, I've never even heard of the word. And basically he was saying that he has a social media marketing agency and he doesn't do any of the ads. Like, he shows up to the calls, he does the sales calls, he secures the contracts, he does the check-in calls, right? Where it's like, hey, how are your ads doing? We can see that, right? But he was like, just want to make sure everything's going well. How are sales going? We're throwing traffic at you and blah, blah, blah. And he went on to say, I don't run the ads. I actually hire somebody overseas who runs the ads, and they're cheaper. They know what they're doing, and it takes that off my plate. So I asked for a premium here in the States, right? I'm from the US. I asked for a premium here. So like a premium price, setup fees and all that kind of stuff. And then I pay them well for their geolocation. So like where they're at, they're getting paid well. And I was like, man, that's genius, dude, because I don't have to go and learn Facebook ads, which I ended up learning Facebook ads in the end, but I was like, I don't have to do that. And I went and learned, I went in and found people. I started screening people, and I found this one guy. He ended up being in the States, which was kind of like not the deal, but it worked out because he was charging a fair price. I think it was like $1,200 or something like that per month to run people's ads. And I went out and I literally was sitting down with people, and I was getting these retainers, and not non-ethical or anything, because I was building like the sales funnel and all that kind of stuff. But I was getting these like $4,000 retainers, right? So I would turn around and pay him I think it was like $1,000 actually. Yeah. So I would get the $4,000 retainer and I would pay him $1,000. So I was left with like $3,000 for the month. And I would do like a setup fee and all that. And I would like charge that, I think it was $3,000 up front for like the funnel. And then I would turn around and paid him like $1,000 to get all the ads and stuff set up. And then the months going forward, it was like, $4,000 as a retainer. And then I would just kind of maintenance and kind of like, do split tests on the funnel and all that kind of stuff. And I would work with this ad guy as well. And that was cool for me for a while. But then I started to get more clients, and I just got into the spider web of like accounts, like just account management. And I was like, man, I don't like this. Like, I was just showing up to work again, and I was like, I don't like this stuff anymore, man. Like, it's not exciting to me, you know. Like, I found that I was really jazzed up when I was getting to design their funnel and launch their funnel and stuff. And like after that, it's like the spark just kind of left. And so anyway, I left that model. Needless to say, I like basically dissolved all of our accounts, and it was really good. Like, it was a really good model. I just wasn't happy in it, you know, and found, you know, fast forward several years later, get put onto Catherine Jones, and I'm like, dude, this is awesome. Like, I can teach people, because up until then, I was trying the social media marketing agency. And then I tried jumping into the coaching model, right? Like I found Sam Ovens, like I talked about in episode 1, and I tried doing the coaching model. I tried doing the coaching model in all these different niches other than design, which is wild to me now. I'm thinking about, I'm like looking back in hindsight, I'm like, why did I jump into other niches? I jumped into like real estate, and I tried several attempts to partner with people in real estate to try my own training in real estate. Like I did real estate for a while. And I'm like, I don't know why I did that. Like, why would I jump from something that I know, right? I already knew how to do funnels, and I knew about marketing and neuromarketing and all that kind of stuff. Why would I jump? Like, I don't know. Looking back on it now, but for whatever reason, I jumped verticals, and I ended up doing that for a while. So I tried doing the whole, like, hey, let me show you how to, and I was partnering with people. So I was partnering with people on like for sub 2 stuff, and I was partnering with these people on like wholesaling in real estate, and flipping. Like we did this, I partnered with these 2 ladies here in my city, and we were lining up this huge, like this massive launch for a flipping business. So like basically like learn how to flip houses. And they were great at what they did, man. One of them is still very successful. I haven't kept up with the other one. She's not very active on social like this other one is. So I don't know like her level of continued success as of today. But she came, the one that's not as socially active, she came from a very well-known name. So like we had her, who was like basically the right-hand man for like this well-known flipper here in my city, like this big-time coach. And then we had this other one who was just doing it on her own and just had like levels of success, like super high levels of success. And so like I tried partnering with them, and it was working, right? The only downfall was that I was pouring all my time and energy into launching this like platform and this course and all this stuff. Cause I was, Melanie and I, my wife / business partner, we were recording all the marketing side of things. So like how to set up your funnels, and how to like what all that looks like, and your marketing stuff, and like a VSL funnel. And I was building like templates and all that stuff. And they were like, it was their job to record like how to flip houses and how to hire contractors and all that kind of stuff. What are contracts? And I found myself just bleeding dry because I wasn't really, I was working, doing wholesale deals, but most of my time was going into like the course and stuff, which is funny, right? Because I'm teaming up with them, partnering with them to do a course, but I'm still teaching about funnels and all that kind of stuff, which is kind of funny looking back on it now again. But you know, we ended up dissolving that. I was like, you know what? I need to start making some money. I need to start getting a return on this, because they were still very active. Obviously, they weren't going to stop their business. They had super high levels of success, and they were still flipping houses and stuff. So they were still making their bread, right? And Melanie and I were just like, well, we slowed down on our wholesaling stuff. Like we haven't had a deal. I haven't been cold calling. I haven't been reaching out or anything. We haven't been signing contracts because we're so focused on this course and stuff. And so we had this open conversation of, well, what do we do now? Right? They're over there still doing their thing, and slowly in the background working on the course stuff, which was very slow, like very, very slow, to be honest. And we were over here pouring our hearts into it and leaving our pipeline to dry. And so I was like, okay, well, I'm going to make a vertical move or a lateral move. And I'm going to go and partner up with these other guys who are currently doing this stuff. Like they already have this whole business coaching model laid out. They just need help making it look better, which is like where I started to really give my design input. It wasn't for the first time, but this was like one of the instances where I actually successfully partnered up with 2 really big coaches. I mean, you if I were to say their names now, and if you're into real estate to any degree, you definitely know who they are. And I started working with them, and I was so honored and privileged to do that, because they were just on the move, still are on the move, still very big. And so I tried that whole like coaching model for those verticals. And after those failed attempts, man, and I mean failed as in I lost my fire, my flame again. Like I was doing their funnels and stuff, but then I found myself just always working for other coaches. Like that kind of continued on, that kind of style, that business model that I had adopted. It was like I was the funnel guy for all these coaches, and I was the in-house funnel guy. And I was like the money's not bad, but it's nothing like, it's nothing that I'm actually after. So I said, okay, I'm gonna just do my own thing with my agency. After a while, after I left with Hunter Thompson and raisingcapital.com, it was like, you know what? I know enough now. Like I've seen the other side of what's possible. I've seen these coaches, these people make, $20, $30, $50,000 launches, $100,000 months, million, $2 million, $3 million, $12 million years. Some even more than that, right? I mean, you know who they are. They're out there in the market right now. $20 million a year, $50 million a year. I saw it. And I was like, okay, it's time to just do this. For myself, yes, but I went and this is what I mean by things are just staring at you blatantly in the face. And I just completely missed it. I said, okay, I'm going to start my own funnel design business. I'm going to do this for others as an outsourced agency. Instead of saying I'm going to teach people how to build funnels, I said I'm going to build funnels for people done for you, which wasn't bad, right? This is like 2022, I think. Like 2022. It wasn't bad. Started the company funnel site, and we just started doing done for you funnels, and it was really well. We came from a very well-known name, and his entire community were always asking about his funnel guy, which was me. And so when I hit the market kind of as like a free agent, it was game on, dude. Like everybody was willing to take me up on work and stuff. And we did really well, like right out the gate, first year in business. Well, I guess the first, calendar year, because from 2022 to 2023, it was going really well. And then I noticed again, dude, like there was just something about, like, it was different though. Like I didn't completely lose interest in it. It was just like, it was just that question of like, what else is out there? Like, is there more for me? And then when Adam sent me that thing, it was like, dude, all these failed attempts just led me here, right? I can do what Catherine is doing. And the crazier part was like, it almost felt like she passed me the torch. She didn't verbally say that, nor in any instance say that whatsoever. But I felt like she passed me the torch because she doesn't do it anymore. Like she no longer does design hacking. And I was like devastated because I found her right when she was just about done. She had already started doing this JV thing. So she was already teaching the whole JV model. And I can totally see the evolution of that, right? But I was like, man, like, had I just known about her, like in her prime and in the prime of design hacking, like I could have partaken in all this stuff. And I was like, you know what? I can carry the torch. Like I can pick this thing up and I can run with it. There's obviously a need for it. Like she's done millions of dollars, right? In her sales funnels with design. What was it called? CF design school or something like that. I think what her program was called. And so long story short, I was like, I got to do this. And so I sought out the name Design Secrets because I was just so like heart set on design hacking. I was like, oh my God, like what she is teaching is the essence of design hacking. And I was like, I can teach people design hacking. Like I know how to do design hacking to the highest level. You know, I'm overconfident in myself. And I'm like, I know how to do design hacking to the highest level. I can teach people how to do this. And I was just so heart set on the name. I was like design hacking and I was like design hacker. And I was just trying to figure out all these names. And then again, just blatantly staring me in the face, right? I was like, dude, I can teach people these design secrets, man. I know all these secrets of design. And I was like, whoa, design secrets. Like that rings a bell or rolls off the tongue rather nicely. And it kind of lines up with exactly lines up with a lot of what Russell has, which is expert secrets, .com secrets, traffic secrets, all that kind of stuff. And I was like, dude, let's see if it's available. Went, checked it out. I think the domain was like 45 or 4,700 bucks. And I was like, oh my gosh, I was doing well enough to afford it. But I was like, man, dude, I've never paid that much. I've never paid more than like 40 bucks, I think, for a domain. And I was like, oh my gosh, like that's a hefty little, ticket there. But I think, it's worth it. I know what the true value of Design Secrets is. And so in August, which is weird because I remember, it started in August. But I remember something about September. So it started in August was when we acquired the name or the domain name, designsecrets.com. And as soon as I acquired it, dude, like we went into building mode. And I mean, just like my wife and I, primarily me. I think Melanie was still she was still working as a project manager for a very big web developer company. And I just went like full force, dude. I was like, you know what? This is going to be my time, my chance to shine as the coach, my opportunity to teach people and help them grow as funnel designers and funnel builders and all that stuff. And so that was then. Right now, at the time of this recording, interestingly enough, and I think it's all God's timing. I actually know for a fact it's all God's timing. Do you ever have those instances where you feel like God is calling you to step outside of your comfort zones, to evolve, to become something bigger and greater for what's to come? Do you ever have those seasons? And honestly, they show up and they manifest in your life as seasons of opposition, because that's what allows us to flex our spiritual muscles, if you will. I felt that way. I feel that way right now. I feel like God is calling me, like God called me in the beginning with Design Secrets. I feel like he's calling me to the next level of growth. And there's so much opposition right now. One of which specifically challenges my ownership of the name Design Secrets. And when this started, which was a couple of months ago, when I found out about it, back in like, I want to say early 2000 and early this year, I guess. I found out that somebody had registered a trademark for Design Secrets. And dude, when I tell you, like, I was shook. I was like, dude, how is this even possible? Like, I've been putting myself on, because it was very obvious that like whoever wanted that name, like they come from the world of Russell Brunson, right? I mean, it's pretty obvious, unless it was like back in the day, because I did see who owned it prior to me, and they were like, not fashion design. It was like interior design secrets, which was like the older websites that used to own that domain. And so I was like, dude, who, obviously they have to be from the Russell Brunson world, is trying to get this name? Because I haven't been like, active about it, but I've been pretty, like I've been putting it all over my socials. Like I made a public announcement about, like, I've been pretty public about it. Like, who is really trying to circumvent me and trying to take the name? I own the .com, right? I own the official URL, domain name, sorry. I own designsecrets.com. So I was like, who in the world? Well, that doesn't matter, right? That's irrelevant. But they are currently, at the time of this recording, challenging me for the name. And I'm like, dude, there's no way this is going to happen, man. Like, there's no way. Like, I have hard evidence, time-stamped evidence, all this kind of stuff. I, have people that remember me from 2023 using the name, like, and I can get all these people to just like back me up, and evidence and whatever. Long story short, this isn't about that. I don't want to get into the nuances of that stuff, because it's all irrelevant. The real point of it all is I feel like God's challenging me, challenging my faith in him, to just know that he's in control of it all. And he almost needed to cut the emotional attachment, the strings in my heart to Design Secrets, because it was like, win, lose, or draw, I'm still God. I felt like he told me, and it's like, that's true. Win, lose, or draw, you are still God. I know this isn't the end all be all. Like, whatever comes of it, I give it to you. And that's kind of where we're at right now. Like, I'm still waiting on a verdict from the whole thing. We've both kind of submitted our documents and we're waiting on it. But the truth is, like, I'm not going to stop. I'm overly confident that we've already secured, like, we have what's called common law rights. And so even though the file happened after ours, so like we filed for the trademark designsecrets.com, or Design Secrets, sorry, for the mark Design Secrets. And it was prior to their filing. They filed it before us, just a couple of months before us. But we have what's called common law rights, which means we've been using the mark a lot longer, almost an entire year longer. I think it was like 10 or 11 months longer than when they filed it. And so with that, that just instills even more confidence that, like, we have all the time-stamped evidence and stuff to back us up. And so, that's kind of where we're at right now with that. But all that to say, the future of Design Secrets is not dim at all. And if it's not designsecrets.com, you can ask my wife. I come up with 1 million ideas a day. There are no shortage, as Michael Scott says, no shortage of ideas in my mind, in my head. If not designsecrets.com, I will come up with something, the next thing, and it's going to be just as big, if not bigger. But the future, what's on the horizon for designsecrets.com, as I know it, are big things. So I'm going to because what's really happened is, and this is why I believe God had to kind of shake me up with this whole thing, is I was unknowingly not as active as I should have been, as I should be, which is why I'm starting to produce more of this podcast and stuff like that. And progression over perfection, because that's always been my thing. It's like, it needs to be perfect. I'm going to have a podcast. I need to have the right lighting and like the video has to be good and the quality and the audio and stuff. It's like, dude, no. Like, just get it out there, man. Nobody really cares. People aren't even going to listen to this until like episode 100, probably, right? That's when I'm actually going to start to gain some traction, maybe. And so it's like, it doesn't even matter what you say on these things. Just get it out there. Just put it out there. Just be active. And so, this whole situation right now with the trademark has really lit a fire under me, like revitalized my passion for what I feel God called me to do in the beginning, which was go out and teach people the knowledge that I've blessed you with, right? And really, like, change their lives, and it's kind of like the Bible says, do these things unto the Lord, and or what is it? Do His works, right? So do His works, and all these things, other things will be added onto you. It's kind of like that, right? It's like we go out and we just make people's lives better, and the other things that are going to benefit us are really a sub benefit, but they just happen because we're benefiting other people's lives. And so the future of Design Secrets is very bright. We've had some trainings, we've had some courses, we've had some crash courses, all that kind of stuff. We've had boot camps. I've had some mentees come in and, I've kind of shown them the ropes. I have, we've had some employees and all that kind of stuff. But the future of Design Secrets is very bright. I'm going to really, we're going to strip down our offerings is what I was going to say, but our offers. And I'm going to I'm currently in the process of redoing our new flagship program, which is going to be called Design Secrets University, or DSU. And DSU, Design Secrets University, is going to be, it's going to be great. It's going to have a lot of the same frameworks. If anybody's ever enrolled in like the earlier stuff, it's going to have a lot of the same frameworks. It's going to have a lot of new stuff too. And so, it's really going to be something cool. And if you didn't hear about, like, if you're like, I didn't know this guy had anything out there. we were a super close beta group about it. Like, not even beta group. It was like cohorts. So like we would bring people in, because like if you don't know about this stuff, like it really requires like a hands-on aspect of it. And I was just, I was just trying to be cautious, but it's like, you know what, caution to the wind now. Like I just need to go in there and just like do it. You know what I mean? Just get this stuff out there. I can't, like I said a moment ago, progression over perfection. Like I can't just be trying to do it all right out the gate, and it's just stunting my growth. I have to just do it. So it's like, we're going to learn as we go, right? I'm just going to throw as many people in there. And if hey, we figure out we can do it better. Okay, well, let's just pivot and make that a thing now. And we'll just continue to optimize as we go. And that kind of segues into the new leg of, or I guess a sister company of Design Secrets, which is Desable. Desable, and I opened up the episode with this. Desable is going to change, or what is it? It's going to redefine what's possible with our designs, with our funnels, rather, with our sales pages, with our opt-in pages, our squeeze pages. I can't say much to it. Actually, you know what? I can. It's basically what it is. And if you're really curious, I don't know. I've been really contemplating what is it called? A campaign titled Save My Sub. Save My Sub is basically a fundraiser campaign to help us finish the software. Right now, we are, we're currently raising funds to finish the development. Like my dev team is working on it, and it's like, this is coming out of my pocket, and I'm happy to do so. Like I don't say that regretfully or anything. Like I will do it a million times if it means that I can, one, change the landscape, change the way we know and do things and what's even possible. Like I never thought this was possible. What Desable is. When I talked to people in my beta group, when I talked to the developers and multiple developers as we were interviewing them, they were all just as shocked as I was when I discovered it, right? It's like, oh my gosh, like this thing is going to change the way we do things. It's going to redefine what's possible in our funnel builds, our funnel designs rather. Well, both, right? Because what we've been taught is, hey, you're a funnel builder. You're a funnel builder. You're a funnel builder. Well, in the world of web design, let me give you some true facts here. In the world of web design, there are a lot of different positions, a lot of different parts in a web design. What we know as a funnel builder is really, in the world of web design, is a funnel designer. Is a funnel developer. So when, Russell and Todd and all these other people or I could think it's just Russell and Todd, honestly, that call us funnel builders. When they're like, you're a funnel builder, it's like, yes and no. Because, yes, technically we are funnel builders because we're developing the funnel, right? So technically, yeah, by definition, we are funnel developers. But there's something that's even more crucial than being able to develop the funnel, which is design. Nobody talks about design and the nuances or the principles rather of design. Like, what is Hicks' law? What is the von Ristorff effect? Like, what are all these things that we need to know about UI and UX? And then once we have that established, once we have the UI and UX of our funnel established, then and only then we can develop it. But Desable goes beyond that. Because if you look on these other platforms, and not to say that this all matters, like it's not the end all be all, right? It's not like if you don't have Desable, your funnel is going to suck. Like I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is if you have Desable, your funnel will perform better. Imagine the amount of money you're leaving on the table if you're presenting your offer in a mediocre way. I'll say that again. Imagine the amount of money, the monetary amount that you're leaving on the table if you're presenting your offer in a mediocre way. If somebody goes to Shark Tank, if somebody goes to whatever, an investor, a pool of investors, and they're trying to sell them on their idea, you better believe that they're going to have their presentation down properly. if I'm in a meeting and I'm trying to articulate, my analytics, or I'm trying to articulate our sales and all that kind of stuff, our success for the year or the quarter or whatever, and I'm in a board meeting, you better believe I'm going to do my best to articulate that information properly by ways of slideshows and graphs and all kinds of stuff, right? Images if we can. The human brain processes images 60,000 times faster than text. 60,000 times faster. That's crazy. You can get a picture. Consider it hieroglyphics, right? Like the Egyptians, hieroglyphics. I believe, and this is just kind of a personal take, I believe that the reason the Egyptians were so advanced is because they were just more expedient on things. So if the human brain processes images 60,000 times faster than text, imagine how much information they were able to just kind of digest by looking at the hieroglyphics, right? They're just like zooming through whatever literature or whatever tablets or whatever they're reading at the time, right? And they're just able, like, it's just all about timing. Like they're just faster, right? And so that's just one of the benefits of like design. It gets your point. It gets your this is why we're so keen on like these, like Russell Brunson does like this scribing thing, right? Where he has to write on a whiteboard, and we've all kind of come to know and love that as marketers. It's like, oh, I need a whiteboard. If I'm going to be in marketing, I need a whiteboard because I need to show like, stick figures and arrows and annotations and all that kind of stuff because people process images faster. It's just the way we were wired. I don't know exactly why, but that's just the fact of it. There are a lot of things that happen, and this is kind of more on like what's possible in terms of what ClickFunnels can't do. And I'm talking about Desable here. There are a lot of things that ClickFunnels can't do. ClickFunnels is a great marketing tool. Like they've done above and beyond themselves with the marketing aspect of ClickFunnels. I'm talking about like your ability to create a landing page and like string those pages together, which is what we know as a funnel, and upsells and downsells and order bumps and all that kind of stuff. Like it's great. And then they have all these new things like conversion boost or boost conversion, whatever it is. And then they have like these chat widgets and all these things that they've added into like email automation and workflows and workspaces and all that stuff that they've added into ClickFunnels, the software, which is great. Like we need that stuff. It's obviously need because they have big competitors like High Level and Groove. We need that stuff, but we also need the design side of things, which nobody's talking about. No one's talking about, we've known funnel designs, right? Like we've all kind of become familiar with, oh, this is a funnel. This is what funnels typically look like. There's a new level of funnel designs that are coming out. And I'm starting to see these more and more. I started doing them like a couple years ago, and I'm starting to see them more and more. My clients are asking for them more and more. And these are things like scrolling carousels or like type text, right? Where the text goes away and comes back in and types something else. It's like you're reading or you're about to experience growth, and then growth goes away. And then it says you're about to experience I don't know, another word just appears there, right? That's type text. Or dual colored headlines. I know that's it's something as little as that. But here's the reality of it. Why do we need that stuff? Why do we need type text? Why do we need dual colored headlines? Well, because if you go back to design psychology, type text allows you to utilize less real estate for more articulation, for more information. Does that make sense? So it's like, we only have a hero section that's basically like whenever a page loads, you have a hero section, which is all that you can see in your screen before you have to scroll. So after you scroll, that's technically no longer your hero section. It's the big box that sits at the very top. It usually has your headlines, your call to actions, videos, forms, buttons that bring up pop-up forms, all that kind of stuff. That typically lies within your hero section. Here's the thing. Sometimes, most times actually, we're pretty limited on the amount of real estate we have. Type text, just as a really quick example, type text allows you to add more in there. Like you can say more. just with something like a type text. The other part is dual colored headlines. Why is that important, Tim? Like, why do I need that? That sounds like pure vanity. I don't need dual colored headlines. Well, as a matter of fact, you can isolate, you can hyper focus your viewer's attention on different text sizes. That's one part, but also colors, right? The higher the contrast, the more attention driven you are to it. So like white text on black backgrounds gets your attention faster than, let's just say, yellow text on a black background, for example, right? If we can't agree with that, I can show you some scientific, studies that have been done. Dual colored headlines, though it seems insignificant, actually plays a role in conversions. You're trying to get certain points across. What about underlines? What about underscores, right? What about strike throughs? You see this all the time where it's like, get this offer today for just, and then it'll have like bold red letters, strike through, and then it'll have another price in green. So it's like you have this red text. It's all one headline, and it says, get this price for red text, right? $9.97, strike through, and then it'll say green text, $47, right? So it's like, oh my gosh, you're articulating the idea that it used to be this amount, but I'm cutting that down. Red, right? Red does something in our psychological mind. And then green means go, green means good, green means yes. So you're doing these color duotones, if you will, for that reason. You're trying to articulate something. You're trying to say, this is what it was, no longer that price. This is what it is now, and it's good for you. Take it. Something as simple as that. And we're going to talk about all that a lot more in the later episodes here. We're going to get into like the nuances of design psychology and all that kind of stuff. And I know if I ever can get Russell on here, I think we can really geek out on the psychology of design, because I know he loves psychology, and I think we can really, talk about that. But anyway, that's for another story. Desable is going to allow you to do that simply. No coding, no HTML, no JavaScript. Because if you want to do type text, you better believe you're going to need some HTML, some Java, and some CSS. None of that stuff. If you want dual colored headlines, I can tell you how we do that with custom attributes in ClickFunnels. No more doing that stuff. Like, you will not have to do JavaScript, HTML, or CSS ever again with Desable. Desable is going to allow you to do this stuff exactly like, or I should say similarly to ClickFunnels. Drag and drop, specify your settings, and the cool part is it's going to translate directly to your funnel. How do you do that? Well, we're going to tie in integrations. We got API integrations with ClickFunnels. We're going to get API integrations with High Level. We're going to, oh yeah, by the way, it's not limited to just ClickFunnels. It goes beyond that. It goes to all these other platforms: High Level, Groove, Shopify, Weebly, Squarespace, Wix if you wanted to, WordPress. Like, it's just going to be this massive overtake of the marketing world as we know it, because there are a lot of people. Heck, I even have clients that are still stuck on ClickFunnels Classic. And I'm like, dude, we need to get you over. And they're like, no, you don't understand. I have so many funnels here. And they do. I have so many funnels, some funnels from like 5 years ago that are still making me a lot of money. I don't want to touch that stuff. I have to migrate all my domains, and it's a very big headache because I'm currently doing that with the client. We have to migrate all our domains and URLs, and we have to make subdomains in order to make the transfer. And like, it's just a huge thing. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I see your pain, but also in contrast to that, I see the benefit of you going over, right? Because to build something on ClickFunnels Classic is just so slow and just not ideal. The work environment there from a page builder perspective is just terrible. I'm going to say that right now. It is absolutely terrible. Winter, the Jones Brothers, I'm so sorry if you're hearing this and you're hearing that, but the truth of it is, I mean, it worked back then, right? But right now, in contrast to ClickFunnels now, or AKA 2.0, worlds apart, right? And so anyway, I'm going to wrap up with this. Desable allows people to stay where they are. We're meeting the consumer where they are. And it's like, hey, if you're on High Level, like, I respect that. I'm not going to ask you to get off a High Level. Let's just elevate your funnel. Let's do that. And you can do that without moving. You don't have to move a funnel at all. Matter of fact, we're going to come to you where you are. Hey, ClickFunnels Classic, I see you, dude. I understand you don't want to move your entire business from one platform to another, even though they're the same company. I understand. We can meet you where you're at. We can create your funnels. We can update your funnels. We can even like elevate all aspects of your funnel without having to move you. No migration, none of that stuff. It sounds great, right? No coding. You get to do these amazing funnels. And what I mean by amazing funnels is, dude, like if I showed you, if there was any video to this, which maybe in the future I will have an example, the things you can do with Desable are mind blowing, bro. Like I've showed people before, and some people are kind of like, I've seen everything, there is to see with funnels. Like you're not going to be able to blow my socks off. And I show them what's possible. And it's like, oh my God, this could exist. It's like, yes, it exists, right? It's a concept, and it's a working concept, because I have some funnels with the Desable concept in it. Like it's working. I can show you some examples, and it's mind blowing, dude. How we're able we're able to utilize more real estate on static pages. It's crazy, dude. It's so crazy. I can't even begin to explain. We get to make these like sliding carousels, like hero section carousels, basically. So like sliders, hero sliders, and dude, you can just jam pack so much information on there. You have to see it. That's the future. That's the future of what's to come for the funnel design world, for the funnel building world. And Design Secrets is going to tie directly into that. So everything that I'm doing for Design Secrets is going to be shoveling everybody over to Desable. That's the bottom line. We're going to be building this new course, Design Secrets University, DSU. There's going to be, new programs, probably new mentorships, all that kind of stuff. The book that's coming out, all that stuff is going to be shouting from the rooftops, Desable, basically. And it's basically an acquisition model for Desable. So yes, we're going to be teaching people the design principles and design frameworks and all that stuff, laws of UI and UX. We're going to be teaching all that stuff so that people are now aware of like, oh, this is what a good funnel looks like. Because the truth is, good design is actually silent. Like you don't actually notice good design. But in contrast to that, you will absolutely notice bad design. So Design Secrets is going to be teaching people the nuances of what good design is, like what padding is, why it matters, what margin is, what the Doherty threshold is, like all these things that matter, Hick's law and all that stuff, that we're going to apply those principles into our funnel builds. And it's like, oh, now I see what a good funnel is and what it looks like and why it performs so well it does. And then it's like, okay, now we can elevate it. Now let's take it to the next freaking level. Like we thought that this was the top tier. It's like, no. Let's take it to the next level. Now let's introduce you to Desable. And I'm trying to make it as affordable as possible. And people are like, dude, you're crazy to make this that cheap. And I'm like, I just want to get it in as many hands as possible. Because if I had this tool back then, oh my gosh, my portfolio would be so different today. So different. As it's changing now, I'm starting to add it to several landing pages, and it's just elevating the heck out of like my book funnel, for example. There's a page that's not public, but if you saw it, it's like, oh my goodness, like it's such a nice looking page. It's so cool. Design Secrets is the acquisition front for Desable. We're going to be shoveling people over to Desable and saying, okay, now you know the design frameworks and laws and principles. Now let's elevate all that with Desable. So you couple those together, designsecrets.com or Design Secrets University with Desable, and it's going to be game changing, bro. Like game changing, 1000%. But anyway, that's it for this episode. I just wanted to really talk about Design Secrets, kind of where it all began, where it's going, and then the future of design as we know it for funnel builds, right? For our marketing funnels. So, stay tuned for the next one. We're going to be talking about a lot more stuff. In the later episodes, we're going to be talking about the actual laws and stuff of design and principles and frameworks. So that's it. Stay tuned. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time.